Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. But then, everything changed. My ship! My ship has crashed onto this alien planet! This is Factorio free play. Your task is to launch a rocket into space. You'll need to research blah 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 blah. So yeah, you gotta do a lot of research. You know, you gotta survive. You can't die. So the way you survive is simple. First of all I got is this tiny pistol, okay? And, you know, the map's not too concerning so far. This is a very ugly planet with a lot of cliffs, which I probably should have disabled cliffs, but whatever. Our main goal, don't die, and survive as long as we can. How long do we have? We have as long as we need, because the bigger we expand, the harder it's going to get. This means that we're going to also have to be careful about how much energy we use, how much pollution we produce, and we're going to have to be very smart about how we tackle this situation. Luckily, we have massive deposits of resources to start off with, 2.8 million, 3.5, so we shouldn't have to expand too quickly. As you can see, this red square represents the pollution we've already produced. Early on, we're not going to be, you know, screwing up the environment too much, so we should be allowed to survive for a little bit. We're going to want to get a lot of iron plates. We're going to want to get some stone and some copper before we destroy everything and start to build our first base. This is how we're going to survive against these evil sons of bitches. We are going to need a lot of military help. And usually when I play this game, I play very easy. So this is quite new for me and I'm really excited to see where this goes. As soon as the pollution that we're creating hits any enemy base, we are absolutely screwed. We need to basically play chicken and be smart early on and research as much as we can and get as strong as we can so that we can expand when we're ready. We almost have a full idea of the perimeter and how much space we have. Alright, it's kind of scary that I don't see any oil anywhere, but we should hopefully be able to figure out a solution to that by the time we need to find oil. I'm not actually sure what we're going to end up doing, but we will figure it out. So in order to progress in this game, what we're going to need to do is we have to end up getting electricity, which is going to definitely bump up our pollution levels. What I'm going to end up doing is, before I do that, we're going to craft a whole bunch of these automation science packs. And then we're going to end up researching military, and then we're going to research turrets. We're going to spend a lot of time setting up a defense for our base, as well as I want to be able to eventually have an automated refilling, re-ammoing system. Alright, we're doing good so far. We now have every resource that we need to start automatically mining, so actually right now we just need to wait. We're creating copper, we're creating iron, and soon enough we're going to be creating these light electric poles, which will allow us to do electricity, as well as copper is going to allow us to make these, which will help us progress to the next step. I built this little mechanism right here, and when I turn on the power and fill this thing with coal, it's going to power up our laboratory. So because of that, let's get ready by getting some science packs and getting our turrets ready. I think the first thing I want to research is turrets. We're slowly expanding out our pollution, so again, we got to be very careful. We don't want to overproduce anything. I think the way that we can accomplish this is just by not filling up anything with coal and waiting on it. So this thing, this water pump, creates a lot of pollution, or this boiler, I mean. Look how busy this is. This is disturbing. Very disturbing. I also think I produce enough electricity to create a radar, which will allow us to basically scan the area. This is our pollution production for the last 10 minutes. We have been producing a ton, and I mean a ton of pollution every single second. Luckily, we at least absorb a little bit through tiles, but we also have no trees around us, which is going to make it even harder. This is an incredibly hard challenge, and the more that we produce, just the closer we get to our inevitable, like, yeah. So we're going to actually end up just picking up all these things, because I'm not actually sure what the next step is. We likely will need a very small factory at some point, but until we are safe, we don't need anything. We're going to get military, which is going to help us get stronger weapons in case something does happen, but I'll be honest with you guys, I don't even think that these weapons are going to help us. I think that we are very likely fucked. We have electric mining drills, which do create less pollution, but they will require more energy, and the energy actually creates more pollution. So funny enough, it's actually more worth it for us to just keep using our old shitty drills. We're going to go with automation next, which will help us automate some things, which will help us make bullets for our guns that we're going to create. We need to collect wood, but the problem is wood helps us, trees help us collect pollution. And as you see, the pollution is not going down, and I'm not sure whether or not it ever will go down. We are going to need like 1,000,000 turrets to be able to defend ourselves. To be honest with you guys, I'm terrified, and I don't actually know if I'm going to win this game. I really fear that the pollution's not going to go down. Alright, I now have a machine that automatically creates these red science packs. Theme of today is rather be safe than sorry. In fact, I don't even think we're able to walk through this area without getting attacked. I don't want to risk it. However, if we are able to, that might actually open up some opportunities. It means we might be able to look for oil. Then again, we'd have to defend the actual living hell out of it. So I don't actually know whether or not that's going to work out. You would think that because I have like so many resources, this would be an easy challenge. But again, like all of my resources almost are going to be spent keeping my ass alive. We're also going to get steel so that we can get basically upgraded military so we can get better bullets, which we will need. All right, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the enemies, we can use the cliffs to our advantage, and it's possible we can make this a choke point. We can use these cliffs as natural walls. I think fort gun turrets as well as a ton of magazines, I think should be good enough to start off. The unfortunate thing, though, is once enemies start attacking, we're not long for this earth. So now we got a little bit of defense, but this is not going to help us survive for long. I think the main goal is going to be to set up a bunch of turrets and basically have just a bunch of iron production specifically for the sole purpose of refueling these turrets. In order to do that, we're going to have to build a ton of transport belts to bring ammo automatically to the turrets, as well as we need a bunch of belts to transfer coal to places to automatically mine it. Our first factory is going to be very difficult, but I also think that if we focus mainly on just like completely moving it away from the resources, that might actually help us out. There's also a large valley of cliffs over here, and the few points that are open are on this side over here, right here, where enemies will be able to come through here, probably attack this way. So these red squares represent areas where possibly enemies are going to start leaking through that I need to defend before I ever start expanding. Chopping down trees, which is definitely not going to help us with our pollution, that's for sure. This is a small wave of enemies, and as you can see, it's a bit of a struggle to get through it. That being said, though, what's nice about gun turrets is they allow us to actually defend in a very, in one specific area. So if I really wanted to charge in and be crazy, I'm able to place down one turret. But yeah, if we ever want to do anything, likely what we're going to end up having to do is this. But even then, as you see, we're going to need a lot of ammo. Very scary stuff. This is the kind of shit we're going to have to deal with. And a single attack means that we have to deal with that consistently. Meaning that we're going to have an insane amount of production of bullets. Which I'm terrified I'm not going to be able to do. However, 3 turrets actually does seem like it will be more than enough to defend against the tiny waves. So as long as I clump them up into groups of 2 or 3, we should be good. It's like, oh, it's so easy. Look how few red marks there are. But then, like, it doesn't actually, like, really highlight how scary. Like, sure, you got all these big clumps together, but the amount of worms here is just going to be like stupidly hard to get past. So again, we're confined and constricted to a small area, and it's honestly, I don't actually feel very confident. As you see, the pollution is getting scary close to the very ends, and they will all come and attack the source of it. So with this, we are actually a lot more safe because we should actually be able to build in our original spot without like moving too far away from it. So meaning that we should be able to connect these, maybe even in this area, because now we can defend. And these guys will absorb some pollution actually. So it's like, it's going to become very intense. We're going to need to produce a ton of iron and get these guys like really just constantly filled back up. But I think we can do it. We should just be careful to produce just enough so that like, if the pollution does spread to these guys, it doesn't spread to these guys. We should have our coal, like, at least 2-3 mines extracting coal, a couple of things doing iron stuff, and then I think it should just be straight to blitz, straight to refueling these, and then if we have something that's self-sustaining, then I think that we're in business. However, I don't know if that self-sustaining thing is just going to keep spreading pollution, because then it's just going to get harder and more difficult, and we're going to really struggle. Pollution's spreading fast. It's extremely close to the enemies. We need to get, like, ready right now. Alright, we now actually have something that connects, which is nice. That's a first. So, yeah, we need so much iron. Actually, you know what? We honestly only need iron, because we just need to survive. And we can worry about copper later. Pollution now is extremely close. We literally have, like, no time. So this is the moment we've all been waiting for, that we've been preparing for literally the last hour. I've been just like, okay, getting myself ready to handle the waves of enemies that are probably going to be rolling in any time. I am absolutely terrified. I don't know if I'm ready. God, it's literally like a square away. Like a square away. Once it's in this square, it's over. Oh, shit, wait. Some of the pollution went away. Hold on. Wait a minute. Dude, the pollution consumption is only going up. I guess it's because I'm covering way more tiles, which makes it so that... Oh, but it's back that one little square. It doesn't help that so many resources are being expunged just to be able to transfer bullets and automatically restock turrets. Luckily, logistics are finished, which should allow me to just have an easier time overall with stuff. Alright, we now have an electrical system that basically transfers all whatever we need, so we almost have our first line of defense actually finished. Also, look at this little piece right here. It looks like our pollution seems to be actually a little bit under control. What the fuck was that? Okay, I'm terrified for my life. Okay, this was 4 minutes ago. Spitter spawners, so we are hitting a spawner. Maybe it's something over here. I am simply just not ready for doomsday, and I'm not going to be here when the bombs hit. Okay, we should have enough resources to be able to build everything we need, though. Iron's really all we need. Everything else is just circuitry. Oh, I see. I see. This is all one base. Wow. Wow. So, yeah. So this is what I have so far. Right now I have a system that basically carries coal through here. It's going to help fuel up, as well as it's going to go over through here and help us forge some iron. Luckily, though, once our base is complete, we are going to have a very, very strong setup. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a self-sufficient factory. If everything works out the way it's supposed to, this should just, I don't know, work. Since copper, we could just kind of produce it on the side and occasionally craft something with that. Again, this is just a military base, and now we finally have a, like, a main line of defense. I actually might argue that it's worth it before we open up the base to build turrets here. Actually, probably on every single red square we should build a turret area. We don't actually need anything in this area, I don't think, yet, but it also should be marked because eventually we're gonna hit here. Fuck is this? What's that? Why is that there? That wasn't there before. Okay, so apparently a base spawned very close by. Why did this happen? Why is there a base here? That's actually really concerning. Please go away, I guess? These guys are already right here. They're building up an attack. That's what this is. So, shit. Shit. Looks like we're gonna have to immediately do this. Alright. That also means that we're going to probably do the original plan of having an entire conveyor belt go around, meaning that we need more conveyor belts, meaning we need more iron. We have no time to waste, though. These guys are preparing to attack. Yep, there they are. There they go. Oh, shit. Okay, it didn't get destroyed. So yeah, now that we actually have these biters over here, yeah, unfortunate. We're also not producing any iron. That's even more unfortunate. Oh, wow, yeah, no, that base showing up there really threw a wrench right into my plans. New plan, produce iron immediately. We almost have a full line of defense. Our next plan is also going to be where we want to probably build a wall around our entire factory. It's going to keep all the biters out, you know? We need to build a giant wall. And literally the biters are paying for it as they're, you know, they don't... They're look, alright. I'm just going to stop while I'm ahead. I'm out of ammo. Alright. I just need one more magazine. Fuck! Alright, come on. Don't be stingy. Let's take out the worm. Alright, fuck this worm. Piece of shit. Oh, I got... Oh, don't die, don't die, don't die. Alright, we're good. Alright, dude, I'm just glad I'm finally, like, almost over this preparation phase, as it just takes so fucking long, dude. We're also gonna constantly still produce iron plates, even after we get this shit figured out, because of just how many iron plates we need. Yeah, but we still need, like, a ton of conveyor belts to get around the entire area, and which I still do want to do, by the way. This is one of the longest bases I've ever had to, like, prepare for. And now, I think we have an active power grid. Well, now that I did this, I feel kind of invincible, as we don't actually really need a whole lot past this. Not bad. We have plenty of power to stand. Ladies and gentlemen, we have liftoff. We actually have a base that now works, that refuels itself of its, like its turrets constantly or they're supposed to refuel or whatever, recharge. We're gonna have hopefully enough fuel to make this a consistent process. We definitely need to make it so that these guys know what they're making. And then, yeah, there we go. Now we have a actual line of defense. Something that I'm not used to building this early on, because usually I play without this, you know? But yeah, I'm actually proud of ourselves. We should be able to defend ourselves pretty easily. Oops, I walked directly into the enemy base. Get him. Hold on, I gotta craft the bullet. Alright, there we go. It's gonna take forever for these guys to get full. See, the iron plates, they come over here now and they get loaded into here. This gets turned into ammo relatively quickly. And then eventually they get picked up by these arms, which will fill them up to 10 ammo. And if they're at 10 ammo, then basically these guys will just keep going down the belt until eventually they find a turret that needs their loving care. Like over here, for example, none of this stuff has reached over to this point, but once it reaches to this point, these guys are going to get full to 10. And then when they're full to 10, it's going to come full circle all the way around here. Again, this is not a speed run. If we fucking, like, if we screw this up, there's a very good chance that there's no, like, coming back. Now we have permanent surveillance on this base, now that we placed down this radar. Alright, you know what? I think that this is a good place to stop for now. I've had enough panic attacks, as well as I need to go do some other shit. Thank you guys for watching this. Yeah, thanks for putting up with this, mostly. Thank you guys. See you next episode. Peace.